this is going to be fun to talk about. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, which is a 2009 film that's directed by, once again, by Michael Bay, and it's a sequel to the 2007 film Transformers. The plot, if there's a plot, what is the plot of this movie? I don't know. I don't know what the plot is. The film centers around Sam Witwicky is going to college and is trying to live a normal life, and it's not until he starts to see these Cybertronian symbols that he sees in his vision in his head, and of course the Decepticons have returned to, along with an ancient marshal that's coming down to Earth to seek revenge on their earlier defeat. Now this film, I remember back in 2009 when the film was about to release, I remember seeing the trailer so many times. I remember watching it online. Oh wait, almost forgot something. Hold on 1 second. There we go. So yes, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So when this film is coming out, I remember the hype for it. I remember being excited for it. I watched the trailers on the computer so many times. I remember watching it multiple times. I don't know how many times I watched it. I remember being really excited for this one. I remember being all excited for another Transformers movie after the first one. I was kind of like, okay, we'll see if the sequel can go after we saw from the first film. So people are kind of interested to see what Michael Bay can do with the sequel and maybe expand upon certain stuff. But then at the time of the film release, the film has gained a lot of negative reception. I don't know when's the last time I checked the Rotten Tomatoes, but if you look right here, it's got a really rotten score, pretty much low. Maybe not as low as maybe Age of Extinction or The Last Night. I remember being, liking the movie. I remember I did say I loved it more than the first, which is kind of weird for me to seeing that. 16 years since this film released, and I remember being in denial. I remember going, yeah, this one is not as good as I once remembered. For a wee while I was. But fully honest, if you expect me to do a full big rant about it and say how much this movie sucked, to be fully honest, I don't hate this film. I don't hate it. But looking at it now as an adult, it is definitely a disappointing movie. It definitely had some good ideas, but due to, it's pretty much what happened before during the time they were making this movie. It kind of felt rushed because the whole writer's strike happened between the year 2007 and 2008 that the writers kind of write everything. So Michael Bay and the team has to, come up with some ideas. Maybe they have notes where they want to go with it, but they never go on the full script rewrite. So they had to go with the notes. They had to just go along as they go with it. And they don't really have much impact. You tell this film felt rushed. I'm not saying this movie is badly made. There is some nice, decent shots. Cinematography-wise, does look good. I will say that in a positive note. Cinematography in this film looks stunning as hell. There's certain shots, and yes, you do get some of that Michael Bay shtick here and there, with certain camera shots and slow motion effect, and you get what you get from Michael Bay. I don't want to trash on the guy, but speaking of, as far as Michael Bay's directing, his directing style is very questionable with certain shots and certain scenes, and certain characters react, and especially with some questionable cringing moments. Not to mention, there's a dog's who's living in Sam's house, his Mojo and this other dog, Frank or something it's called. And basically, Mojo is dry humping him, and it's just make me cringe. Did Michael Bay just have an idea to say, hey, let's have these two dogs, doing what they're doing doggy style, and just have them kind of go and be a little close up on them, which that scene made me cringe, or that scene just made me go, come on, Michael, why are you doing this? And there's so many daft sex jokes, and so many, why do you have to throw so many sexual references? Like Wheelie, who's voiced by Tom Caney, who is the Decepticon turned good guy, Autobot, who's actually the same guy who voiced SpongeBob SquarePants from SpongeBob. And basically he's humping on Michaela's leg, and it's just, and even John Turturro's character, Sector 7, who is basically from the first film, just has to rip his trousers off, and you have to see his butt cheeks, and also he's wearing his thong underpants or something. Oh God. That scene, don't forget, Devastator, which I will admit, Devastator in the film looks cool. I like his design. He looks amazing. But the stupid scene, he was kind of wasted. He was only there in the last half of the film. But yet, as far as the jokes they made about him, he's got two metal balls dangling down his crotch area. Basically, they tend to be his, well, you know what. It's so many dumb scenes that if it wasn't for those dumb scenes, this film would have been less stupid, and maybe the story would not make sense because certain moments are so dumb. But I don't know, it feels like Michael Bay has too much creative control. I know a lot of people say that's a good thing because they won't get a studio and controlling things, but here's the thing though. Now, Yes, I agree. You need to let the director make the movie that they want to make, but sometimes there's got to be a studio interference, or maybe someone on set with Michael Bay on the day they were making this movie. Someone should have tapped him on the shoulders and maybe say something like, Michael, what are you doing? That's stupid. Don't do that. Or someone could say something like, Michael, why not do it this way, or maybe do it that way? It makes the film better. Again, it's like you had to have 50-50. You had to have a balance of, yes, let the director make the movie that they want to make, but also try to have a studio or someone involved, try to interfere so Michael will not go out far to places. But it feels like Paramount just said, yeah, do whatever the hell you want. You know, you're the director, make the Transformers movie. We just don't care. We just own the film rights. Just make the movie you have to make. You know, just do your thing. But he doesn't do that. Shia LaBeouf returns as Sam Witwicky, which I will admit, yeah, his performance was fine. He does try his best, but his performance kind of over the top a little bit, especially with him when he sees these Cybertronian symbols after lifting this Allspark from the first film when he draw after killing Megatron. There's a little questionable moments though. When he's holding the Allspark, would it not affect him when he's running with it? And also when he lift the Allspark and put it to Megatron's chest by killing him, will you not see the symbols then? Or it's just that piece of Allspark you just went up too close and it just accidentally just into his eye, into his memory part of his mind, and he starts seeing all these symbols and he starts writing things like on the ice in the cave with writing all the symbols, even the classroom, which does that. And also he has that little, I'm trying to watch what I'm saying here, but spasms where he does this. And also he's painting in his roommate's college room, where basically he painted on the walls with the green paint, and especially painted over the Bad Boys poster, which for a little bit of Michael Bay reference there. And of course he did it in the first one with the guy, which I've got to mention in my review in the first one, where the guy mentions when the Autobots arrive, he says something about Armageddon reference, which when I heard that I thought, oh, it's a Michael Bay thing. And of course say that now with the Bad Boys poster, I remember going, okay, that's pretty clever. Okay, I get what Michael Bay trying to go for, but that's silly, but it's still a little reference. Another thing about Sam's character, he screams like a little girl, especially with that girl Alice, who's tended to be a girl, a college chick, basically trying to look all sexualizing with him because he knew that he has the information about the whereabouts of the Matrix, all the information about the past that the Transformers had in Cybertron. Again, it's questionable, especially when he's trying to make out with him, and then the moment she transforms into this giant, robot or droid, whatever, Sam just screams at a little girl. Even Michaela called him out for that. And as far as Michaela's character, Megan Fox, she was a little bit better in this one compared to the first one. Again, not much to her character, but she does give some kind of performance. She maybe has some work to work with for certain scenes, but she's just being sexualized again by Michael Bay. And this is her last time in the role in the film. They had to change her character for the third film with Sam's new girlfriend, which we'll get to in a moment, and then we get to Dark in the Moon. As far as Michaela's role in this movie, she's fine, she's alright, but again, not much character. I will say this though, we do see her and she's on the bike and she's painting or spray painting on the bike where she's making the devil stuff. And that's where I'll go, oh, okay, Michael Bay, I see what you did there. You're trying to make me fall in love with it. But again, I was a teenager at that time, so it's probably an appropriate age for me because by that time I was single, I didn't have a girlfriend at the time, I didn't have my wife at the time, I didn't meet her, a couple of years later. But when I saw this, I remember going, okay, now I'm into girls now, or women, more like. But again, it was a nice moment, I'll give it that. And as far as the action scenes in the Transformers movies, yeah, it's entertaining, to see how you look at it, but as far as Transformers action scenes are pretty cool. My favourite fight scene is the forest fight scene. That is probably the best scene out of the film. Optimus Prime going up against Megatron and Starscream and Grindor. There's a new helicopter Decepticon, not the same one we saw before, that's a different name. But when we saw that, I remember going, oh, that was so cool. I was so entertained. And of course, Optimus Prime gets killed off in just an hour into the movie. So, minor spoiler, which I've got to mention, spoiler, Optimus Prime dies in the film, which probably the most shocking scene, but I was like, going, what? They killed him off? No! And as far as the voice acting from these Autobots Decepticons, Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime, great as always. His voice is iconic. I can't go over his voice lines, especially the line delivery he gives. especially towards the end. He gives that line, which I always love. And of course, Hugo Weaving as Megatron. He returns, but there's not much to him. When he comes back from the dead, but despite killing Optimus Prime, which he did, after that he does nothing throughout the entire movie. He just stands about, and also working with the Fallen, which the Fallen, voiced by Tony Todd, rest in peace to him. I will admit, Tony Todd does give an excellent voice performance as the Fallen, but the thing is, the Fallen is not in the movie that much. When you do see him, he does look scary, he looks very terrifying, his voice acting is really good, but that's kind of misleading from that film. It's called Revenge of the Fallen, but where's the Fallen? When we do see him, you don't see him now till see him appears here and there, but you won't see him until the final end. But what does he do? Nothing. When he fights Optimus Prime, when he comes back from the dead after Sam wakes him up by using the Matrix and put it onto him, and while also Optimus Prime kills the Fallen, that was kind of pointless to me. It was pointless. I feel like, so he done nothing, but the moment he does come to Earth, he tried to destroy the sun and go through darkness and to kill mankind. Optimus Prime came in, showed him MacGuffin, then the Fallen dies. That's it. Oh, God almighty. That's a waste of a character. Kind of like saying there, wasted. I feel like Michael Bay just wasting it because we're too much focused on the human stuff that we don't really care about. As far as the other side characters, we do have Leo, who is Sam's roommate. Not that interesting, really annoying. He shouldn't be here. I wish he just, have Sam and Kayla in the film. You can have Sector 7 in there, John Turturro's character, which is fine, and which I'm not against of. As far as other two characters who appeared in the journey, along with Bumblebee as well, which Bumblebee has his moments. But as far as Skiz and Mudflap, which I'm assuming one of them is voiced by Tom Kenny, just like he did voice Wheelie, which, oh my God. Skiz and Mudflap, they are very annoying and very obnoxious. It's just the same thing. They both are like, probably describe them as Jar Jar Binks of the Star Wars people. I'd rather take Jar Jar Binks over Skiz and Mudflap any time of the day. And I'm just saying that honestly, because they're really annoying. They bicker a lot, they fight, and they argue. And I just literally just go, shut up! Skiz and Mudflap, shut the fuck up! It's really annoying. Every time you appear on screen, and you just irritate me. Every time I just go, oh, fuck off. Just fuck off, you guys. Just fuck off. You shouldn't be in this movie. Just erase them or just be killed in action. I would have been happy. I would have been less worried about that. But, oh, God. As far as other annoying characters like Sam's parents, Ron and Judy, played by Kevin Dunn and Julie White, they're kind of annoying, especially Judy, played by Julie White, which she's really irritates me, especially her over crying because Sam's going to college, and also being silly and goofy, and also in the university, and basically eating marijuana brownies, and she thinks it's a brownie, but it's actually marijuana, which that scene just drives me up the wall. That just, again, they're really annoying. They don't need to be there. Have them there for a couple of scenes, but yet they get kidnapped by the Decepticons and they appear in the final battle, which, again, does nothing with them. Thankfully, they're a little bit in the third one, which they're in it for a minor role. Thank goodness for that. As far as them in there, I wish they'd not be appearing in the film. I just wish they'd just go away. As far as everything else about the movie, Michael Bay's direction is good. There are a couple of nice shots. Like I said, the cinematography, production design, the visuals looked amazing, as always. They always look great. There are some things to appreciate about this film. I was a little bit negative on certain stuff, but I just couldn't even... If Michael Bay didn't rush it, if it wasn't for the writer's strike, this film would have been easily executed, or at least have a better writing, or maybe someone could have interfered Michael Bay, maybe tapping his shoulders and say, maybe don't do that, maybe do it this way, or even Paramount stepping in as well, because there's so many things that just made me question Michael Bay as a director. Now, I don't want to trash on the guy. I do respect Michael Bay. He is a decent director. He has done good stuff before. He can make some good work stuff in his movies, but his storytelling, his characters, and him trying to hire young actresses just there to be hot. He is kind of a pervert in a certain way, because when he's trying to sexualize like Megan Fox or certain other actresses throughout this franchise or any other movies, just trying to appeal it to teenage boys so they can just drill, or just, even men as well if they're into that stuff, which... Again, I don't want to sound like I'm being negative towards him. I do respect Michael Bay as a director, but certain choices he made just made me question him as a director as a whole. I will say this, Linkin Park, New Divide, I really like that song. I think that's a really good soundtrack for this film. And most of the songs I hear, I do remember buying the soundtrack on Christmas. I remember listening to it. And the songs in the soundtrack in the film are pretty good. The moment I hear it, I just go, oh, the music. I do listen to some of the songs, certain soundtracks. I remember liking that song. But as far as the movie itself, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen is a huge, huge disappointment. Well, there are some good things going for it, but other than that, it's just a waste of time. There are some good ideas going for it, but I do have a soft spot for it. It is entertaining. It is a movie you can sit and watch. It is a guilty pleasure for me, and I do think it's a watchable good time, but that it's just a huge disappointment. Every time I watch it, I can have fun with it, but there are times I just feel a bit frustrated. I could have done so much better with the story and certain aspects of the whole film. By the end, this film could have been better, but I've seen far much worse on this. I'm going to give Transformers Revenge of the Fallen a C-. Overall, guys, comment down below and tell me, what do you think of Transformers Revenge of the Fallen? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you think it's alright, or do you hate it? Whatever the case is, comment down below and tell me what you think. Stay tuned, guys, for Transformers Dark of the Moon, which I'm kind of curious to talk about that one, so all the best to see how this one goes. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, see ya!